Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. This is take two as well.
Take two. I love it.
Yeah, so we had to break off and do our mantras in order to get the internet to come back up because we were just about to start this video and the internet went out. Interesting timing.
Yes, we know we're touching a nerve when these things happen.
And I asked Cindy, I said, "Can you reach out? Do you see anything?" She said, "Yeah, she saw a gray."
Yeah.
Which is, par for the course. So, when a storm is coming, all other birds seek shelter. The eagle alone avoids the storm by flying above it. So, in the storms of life, may your heart soar like an eagle.
That's so beautiful.
It is. And the eagle is one of my totems as well. And I might have shared with you guys, my dad has a Native American background. He's been gone from this plane of existence for over 20 years, but he always would dream of basically turning into a bird and flying, and so I think that came from his native heritage.
That feels very true.
And he used to love flying in his dreams as turning into a bird. So obviously, there are storms around us right now in this world, and there's a storm coming. And so it's going to be up to each one of us to let our hearts soar above that storm.
Absolutely. It's up to us and us alone, pretty much.
And this is where it takes some discipline, and this is where it takes some work and cultivating things like Buddhist detachment, so we're not, drawn into the storms of life.
It's hard, but doable. Very doable.
Yeah, never an easy thing, but it gets easier with practice and with time. And, I'm not the same person I was, 10, 15, 20 years ago, because that person most definitely could have been pulled into storms a lot easier than now.
Yeah, you want to start with baby steps, like little things to detach. I think that's really important.
So it's all about cultivating that inner bliss, no matter what's going on all around us. Satchit Ananda, for those of you that are familiar with Sanskrit at all, and it's that inner bliss. And so I want to share this with you, as this is so, as the tweet says, this is so 2020. The way this year has been. I'm not sure, but I believe this is France. I might be wrong, but just check this scene out. Just check this out. Does that not just say a million things in one little clip right there?
It's so strangely appropriate.
It is. I mean, you have chaos all around, people throwing stones, fires burning, police sirens all over the place. One lady who is aware of everything happening that we could view as threatening or chaotic, yet she's really focused on the music, and he who is making the music is oblivious to anything around him.
It's almost like a SNL skit. It really is.
Yeah, this is great. This is great because, here you have the one that is in bliss because he's just making music. It doesn't matter what is around him. He doesn't seem to see it, know it, hear it. He's not worried about it. He's not going to be pulled out of his zone of bliss and passion. And passion in the sense that it's that which is really pouring out from the heart. He loves his music. And by the way, the song is Eternal Flame by the Bangles. That's interesting too. It's all about what we are going to cultivate. Now, She is like someone that's on the path of self-realization, enlightenment, path of yoga. We could view it as, there's a lot of different terms. She's really in his world. She's being drawn to his world, but she still recognizes the chaos around her, but she's getting better at ignoring the chaos. So she's somebody that's on her way. Whereas, the maestro, the musician there, he is already there. He's self-realized. He recognizes that whatever else happens around him, well, that's for everybody else that's around him. He's in his own world. He's doing his own thing. He's creating his own music. So this is a perfect example of the path to enlightenment in so many ways. And she's on her way. She's aware, every now and then she'll glance over her shoulder when there's a big boom or a bang or something. But for the most part, she doesn't want to give that attention. She doesn't want to feed that. She's zoning in on the music, and she's enjoying the music and the bliss that comes with, making your own music.
And if there's one thing we can get across to you during these times, it's to learn how to do something like this when things are getting really tough.
So this is taking power away from those that would take power away from you. When you're cultivating your own bliss, when you're cultivating your own focus and your own attention, giving energy to that which makes you happy, and just, not allowing the chaos to grab hold of your heart and pull you into a state of fear or a state of anger or anything that's lower vibrational. That is bliss.
Yeah, so it is very much a tug of war for our emotions right now, and to give in to the chaos and the anger and everything like that is to give in to them. Don't let that happen.
There was a survey out that said that it was something like 2/3 to 3/4 of Americans are dreading tomorrow with anxiety and fear. Literally, it's consuming them, and it's taking away people's sleep. There again, it was saying more than 50% of people in the country are having a hard time finding sleep now because of the situation that's going on. And so this is, again, why we go inside. This is why we cultivate that inner bliss, because we're bigger than this. We're much, much bigger than this. We are eternal beings having a existence as a 3D human right now, and we're not even always necessarily quote unquote human. If we look into some other traditions, and if we actually go in ourselves, we might actually find that we're much more than just human.
When I saw that 55%, I thought, well, darn, because they did get more than 50% of the population, but us, even though there's very few of us, we have a really big pull. We do.
Yeah, so know your own inner truth, cultivate your own inner bliss, and keep your eternal flame going. So detachment is not that you own nothing. Detachment is that nothing owns you. That's from the Bhagavad Gita. So it's very important that we understand this, as we are looking at the chaos, and we are looking at people, as we had said before. Unfortunately, with the lockdown situation, so many people's lives that where they've put so much of their energy and their heart and their passion into their own businesses, into their own, whatever it is they were cultivating. And then now with the lockdown, with the chaos that's going on, people have watched their livelihoods, looted, burned. Or maybe they just simply, don't have the job anymore, and they're, finding themselves getting served papers and having foreclosure procedures going on, things like that, getting evicted. Again, we never really own anything in this world. All we could take with us is our experiences. We cannot take anything physically with us.
Yes, our experiences, our lessons in life, that's all we have.
So, don't allow anything to own you. Don't allow the loss of anything to corrupt your soul or to cause you to go down a different path. That is not the highest and the best path.
No, it's not.
Because no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path, and that's from Buddha. Again, no one saves us but ourselves. And so there's going to be people that take exception with that because they've been brought up in a different tradition. But when you put your faith in basically waiting for something to happen, then you're taking away your own power. So again, we must save ourselves. When we talk about the galactics and talk about, people will say, well, why don't they just come down? Why don't they just come down and set things right? It's because we have free will. And seeing the bigger picture, we're here for a purpose and a reason. And it's going to be, how do we react to everything around us? Are we going to be lifting up the rest of the world? Are we going to be trying to raise the vibrations by holding the highest vibrations ourselves, holding the highest frequencies? Or are we going to fall prey to basically lower energies?
We really need to access our soul and our heart right now and figure out which way are we going to go.
Every single one of us has a unique path to walk. Every single one of us is a unique expression of divinity, of the divine. As we've said before, it is just simply obvious that if, Source, God, Prime Creator, is again the three big ones, the omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent, the three big O's, then most definitely it has to be in its creation, has to lie within each one of us. And so every one of us is a unique expression of Creator walking a slightly different path, and that's the whole purpose of existence.
Indeed, it is.
It is. So anybody that will tell you otherwise is taking your power away, is trying to get you to, to wait, to not act, to not grow, to not spread the good vibes, and to basically view yourself as a being with a limited scope of abilities. And it's really sad, because if Source lies within us, then, God is right there. So we are very, very powerful beings, and destined to be co-creators. When we look at the videos, what we did the last couple of days, when you look at the old Greek line of thinking, that in the golden age, when man died to this human existence, he became a Daemon, or a Daimon, which basically is not a Demon. It's not a demon like it's been given to us through Constantine's version of Christianity. Not at all. It was a higher level being that was like the gods, as we've talked about again with the Chinese legends, that somebody shut us down by basically blocking off the flow of Kundalini through our spine, and separating the chakras flow one from the other, and causing us to have this limited frame of existence. And when we look at the yogic tradition, through meditation and self-realization is realizing that God spark within each one of us, that Source is within us. We have God in us. God is with us always. God didn't go anywhere. He's still here. And it's not even a he, it's an it. To limit God to one sex is just ridiculous as well. Because how could the creator of everything be just one sex? Again, it's misdirection, and it's how we've been basically, we've had our true history and true knowledge of ourselves taken from us and replaced with a limited framework, a limited viewpoint, because again, there are those that want to control us. So no one saves us but ourselves. Nobody can, no one may. We must ourselves walk our own individual path and take our own power back as co-creators. And again, we're talking about how in the Greek line of thinking, in the Golden Age, when humans lived 100,000 years, they would become like the gods. And then when we look over to the Vedic tradition and the people of the Indus Valley, it basically says the same thing. We could become like the Devas. And, we also see in the esoteric Jewish tradition that Enoch and Elijah become Metatron and Sandalphon. They become archangels. We are talking about the same process here. And it's not dependent on any one dogma. There's truths that underlie all these different traditions. They've just been covered over, and it's been done on purpose to keep us with a limited frame of understanding. So, as the storm comes, we need to be cultivating our own inner bliss, just like this gentleman right here.
Oh, this is so beautiful. I could watch this 10 times a day.
As always, guys, thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. We cannot do it without you guys. As you know, this world is controlled by this dark system, and so they try to control this through the monetary system, and they do a pretty good job of it, but we can rise above. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.